Hello and welcome to Rest Restored with Dr. Danita Square Smith. Today is a new day, everyone, and I pray and I hope that everybody's doing well, that you are in a position of power, a position of growth, a position of faith. And I say that to say because this platform is for you guys to realize effective spiritual triumphs while you are journeying through being the best you that you can possibly be. And you can do that by being honest with yourself, deliberately being honest with yourself about where you are and where you want to go, and having the power to press your way through. And when I say power, I'm not talking about you don't have to, I'm just talking just a little bit to get yourself where you need to go. Guys, it's a new day. It is a day that we are in many different areas right now. And it's time for a shift. It's time that we get out of this same gerbil on a Ferris wheel sort of being that we're in. It's time for us to get off of not going anywhere and to go somewhere. Um, we are, of course, in the middle of a pandemic. We, of course, are still suffering with racism. We are going through. We are going through. But the thing about life is always changing. We are going through that we don't have to stay where we are. And we can do that through growth. We can do that through educating ourselves and getting into know about certain things that are going on. And right now, we're in the middle of a major election that's about to take place here in the U.S. And we have to get up off our shoulda, woulda, coulda, and do what we need to do. We have sat down too long, too long. It's time for us to press our way and to move forward. Um, just a few weeks ago, I asked my nephew about our government. I said, "How's the government made up? What does it do? How does it work?" This is the question I threw out there just to see his reaction. And he came back, he answered me some things, and then he paused for a second. He said, "I don't know." So, I said, "Okay." So we had a conversation. And even in his youth, he recognized that I need to learn more about something regarding not just the government, but things in general. So we talked about that. And I say that because many of us are not fully aware or knowledgeable of how our government works. I remember growing up listening to conjunction, junction, what's your function, learning about a bill, and you don't have a lot of those now. But it was fun because it was like, we got to learn those things. But we are in a position now where we got to get in the know. We have to. We are in a position where we can vote now on certain things, whereas before we could not vote. Did you guys know that back in the 1800s, 1890-ish, around in there, that there was a literacy test that you had to take in order to vote? Now, mind you, it was supposed to be for everybody to take to make sure that you had at least a fifth grade education, that you could read or write. But we all know that it may have been for everybody, but it was geared for who it was geared for, which was communities of color, African Americans. Okay. And I looked at one of the tests. It had 30 questions. You had 10 minutes to answer the question. 10 minutes. I looked at some. I'm going to put the link at the bottom. Y'all, I want y'all to take a look at this test. Take a look at it. And I think I read somewhere where a bunch of professors took the test and some of them didn't pass it. So the test was made for failure. Okay. And again, why folks were so, and still are so, threatened by the shade, I still don't understand. But I digress. We're not going to talk about that right now. But they made it so that you fail the test. So we are in a position now. We don't have to take a written test whether we can read or write or have a fifth grade education. We don't have to go through that because guess what? We have a right to vote. That was banned. Okay. 15th Amendment, 24th Amendment, the Civil Rights Act, the Voters Act, all those things, it banned that particular practice of giving a literacy test to see whether or not you could vote for somebody that's going to speak for you and your concerns and what you need in your household and your community. Think about it. We don't have to take a test. We've been in a test for 400 plus years. Okay? If that is not enough to get you off your shoulda, woulda, coulda to go out here and to vote for somebody that's going to speak for you, that's going to honor you, that's going to say, I got you, I don't know what more you need. Folks died. They bled. Okay? For us to have the right. So, we don't have any excuses. Oh, well, I don't like any... what? That's neither here nor there, whether or not you like. Do some research. Okay? Look at, once again, this is not about party affiliation. Look at who's running. Okay? Not just federal, but at your state level, at your local. Look who's running. Look at the character. Look at the platform. Ask your questions. If they have a town hall, virtual, go. If you can listen on the phone, listen. Ask your questions. And hold folks accountable for who you put in the office. You want to be able to, if you're sick, are they still going to have your back? Are they going to tell you the truth? Okay? If you need something, are they going to tell you the truth? I would rather for you to tell me the truth, for me to be able to deal with it, than for you to lie to me. Give me the information. Let me decide how I want to react. I don't need you to decide for me. Okay? Because I'm the one that's got to walk around in these shoes every day. I'm the one that's got to walk around in this skin every day. So unless you understand where I'm coming from, then you can't do that. Give me my information. Let me decide how I want to process it. So, think about that. A literacy test. I have a PhD. And I looked at this test and I'm like, OMG. Okay. I mean, and that's not the only one. Other states had them. Okay. And I think it was most of the states in the South. I think. So this is your homework. Look it up. A literacy test. Okay? We don't have to take a literacy test now. Okay? All we got to do is roll up, out, and do it. Look at where we are right now. Okay? Look at your community right now. This is not about playing politics. This is about playing with my life. This is about playing with your life. What I do affects you. What you do affects me. I need to know that you're going to be able to say, if I make a mistake, I can say, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. And be real about it. So we need to take some of our knowledge, our resources, and we need to apply it. Okay? Our government, based on the Constitution, was set up in 3 branches. And that was because they didn't want any individual or any group to have all the power. Well, where we at today? Where we at? You got 3, okay? 3 branches of the government. You have legislative, okay? That is your Congress. Okay, those are the folks that makes the laws. Those are the ones that submit the proposals for the laws. Those are the ones that can confirm or reject nominations from the president. Okay, this is who these people are. Okay, and within Congress you have the Senate and you have the House of Representatives. Okay, the Senate are your senators. There are 100. two per state. Okay? Your representatives are those individuals within the state, okay, that are in districts. So, in other words, the representatives are the ones that are over a particular district. Okay? The senator is the one that's over the whole entire state. Now, the number of representatives per state depends upon the population of that particular state. Okay? The senator will serve a term of 6 years. And then they can be reelected if the people choose to, okay, for however many times they want them, okay, at each time of when there's election. The state representative, they serve 2 years, okay. But once again, this is because you can vote for them. So if you don't like what they're doing and another candidate comes up, then research them. Decide what you want to do. Okay. Now, the state of representatives, there's 435 of them. 435. That's a lot of people. Plus 100 senators. Now, a lot of times people get the word, the congressperson, the senator. Let me explain what that is. A congressman can be a senator, but a senator cannot be a congressman. The congressman is the representative. That's the person that's in the district, that's over that particular district, okay, for that state. So you might have so many districts in a state, okay. The senator is the one that's over the entire state. Okay, so now one branch, legislative. Second, another branch, executive. That's where the president of the United States, the vice president, and the cabinet, his cabinet, the president's cabinet. Okay, that's the executive branch. The executive branch carries out the laws. Okay, now the vice president, well, the president, we know who he is, the commander in chief. He is the leader of the country, and he serves 4 years, and he can only, if he runs again, he can only serve twice. Okay, vice president, he can serve 4 years, but if he runs again with somebody else under the vice president position, then he can continue to run, numerous of times, and do it and do it. The cabinet. These are the president's advisors. These are heads of federal agencies. These are other high-ranking officials. And when members are being nominated by the president in order for them to move forward, if you have 100 senators, okay, and there's a person for a position, then in order for that person to get that position, you have to have at least 51. Okay, you have to have 51. So, okay, you have to have 51 votes. Well, 51 senators will have to vote for that particular person. Okay, that's where we are there. Now, the last branch is judicial. Now, the judicial branch is the ones, these are the individuals that interpret the laws. Okay, this is your Supreme Court. These are your federal courts. Okay, and what they do, they interpret the law. They apply the law to individual cases, and they determine and they decide whether the law is constitutional. Okay, so that's it for your that's your federal level. Now, the state level, the difference with that is it mirrors the federal level, but the difference is that there is a president, there is a governor for that particular state. So that is where the difference is for that. But then, like I said, you have to look and see how your state is made up. Now, you're always hearing things about this person owns the house. Has the house, has. You have to look and see what the majority is for that particular, like for Congress. What party affiliation, is doing this, and what party affiliation is doing that. And you have to look at the breakdown. But overall, We want to look at the issues that are at hand. So if things are not working in particular areas, we need to look at that. We have a voice in that. Okay, there are a lot of times that things will come out and come out for public comment, that you have to be able to say, oh, I can comment on that. Yes, you can. If there's an opportunity and they have something that comes out for public comment, I suggest that you read what's coming out, whether it's the federal, whether it's the state or local levels. We have to be able to educate ourselves on these particular issues. Now we're in, as they say, we're in that last leg of getting ready for this major election that we have in the U.S. So now we have to decide, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know, if you have the opportunity to go and to vote early, vote early. If you can, if you got the ballot that you wanted to mail it, take it to the registrar's office. You know, that is your voice. Your voice is your vote. So you want to be able to say, I got this. I can do this. Because we have come so far, yet we still have a ways to go. But where we are in this moment, we can move into a different place. We just have to be willing to do it. So at the end of the day, we still can say, okay, I got this. I can move forward. So we have to take responsibility. Because we don't want to sit back later on and say, okay, I've done this and that, yeah, whatever the case may be. And then guess what? Okay, things are not working out the way we want them to work out. Well, then that's where we hold folks accountable. We look at the issues, and for those of you that are not going to vote, don't complain later on if things are not going your way, because you had the opportunity. You had the opportunity. So why sit back and say, okay, I'm just not going to because of whatever the reason is? Remember, what I do affects you. What you do affects me. So if I know I have grandchildren and kids and whatnot, why would I not want to be able to stand in their place because they're not able to cast their vote or their ballot? So so why would I not sit down and talk with them about their concerns and then go move accordingly? Okay. The same goes for the census. You know, we have to be able to show our power and our force. We have to. There's no reason for us not to. Once again, we don't have to sit and take a test to do it. Just do it. So, and just think. I think I saw the other day, they said about 50 million people have already voted. That's a lot of people. And we're not even at the day of election. That's a lot of people. So folks are starting to understand, communities of color. Yes, we go, run. Make sure you contact your friends and your family. Tell them, we got to do this. We don't have to sit back on the sidelines. We have a say. And what we want to accept and what we don't want to accept. Nothing beats a failure but a try. Why not try it? So we're going to see what happens. You may hear from me before the major election, just to check in, or next time we talk, it might be after. But I just wanted to make sure, guys, that we have the information. Again, I will put all this information at the bottom. I really do want you guys to really look at that test. And if not, just Google search literacy test, voting literacy test, and see what comes up. And read some of the information that's out there about it. It will blow your mind. And like I said, I still just don't understand, because I am a different shade than you. I look different than you. Then you think that I'm not worthy, that I don't have any rights, that, you know, that I need to live a certain way. I don't need to have access to certain things. Why? Are you afraid? What are you afraid of? There's enough out here for everybody. So why do you want to hinder me from where I need to go? That's why I said we can't sit on the sidelines. We got to take this upon ourselves. So on that note, guys, have a wonderful day, evening, whatever time of day that it is where you are, and continue to be the best. This is one of the ways that you can be the best you, is to get in to know about certain issues that's going to affect your life. So again, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy life. Okay? Take charge of it. It's yours just for a moment, but make it the best life of yours you can possibly make it. Take care, everyone.